Working with friends who drag you down. Does that sound familiar to you? Well, making the decision to improve upon yourself and actually following through can cause one of the most rewarding experiences in your lifetime, right? But it can be a lonely path at first. Now, we can always improve. All of us can, right? We're all getting older, so our bodies are always changing. So there's always room for improvement. If you're not improving, then you're deteriorating, right? So if you're human, at some point you have felt unfulfilled and didn't, or maybe still don't, feel like you're living up to your true potential in your life. And since most people do not feel that they have the power to change themselves, when they finally dig their own heels into gaining some momentum, don't be surprised if you meet resistance along the way. And that could be in your own self, which is a whole different topic than what I'm talking about today. But it can also happen with those that are around you, right? Your family, your friends, the people that you work around, people you see day to day, right? They can have some resistance to your changes. Sometimes it feels like the entire social circle turns on you as they start seeing your results. Does this happen to you? Today I want to talk about friends. More specifically, friends that drag you down. Friendships can have basically a double-edged sword. That's basically what it is, double-edged sword, right? No lie. Your friends can enrich your life. They are the primary characters in your memories that, you know, from the past or the days and nights that follow. And they can also be a part of plans in your future. Unfortunately, friends are not always a positive influence, and this can be for a variety of different reasons. If you're making positive changes in your life, for instance, you may still have friends who are stuck in that same old rut that you used to be stuck in, or that you're trying to get out of. Well, we still love these people. It's not always healthy for us to be around them. And it's important to know how to juggle that dynamic when you really want success in your own life. While some friends might actually act hostile towards you as your self-improvements manifest, most often the negativity is subtle, like maybe they might say little things like, oh, this is never going to work. Or maybe they say things like, it's just one drink. You're no fun ever since you quit drinking. Maybe they say things like, why do you work so hard? Stop taking things so seriously and enjoy life. Another one they might say is, it's just one piece of cake. We are all creatures of habit. We all love consistency in our life. There's a lot of comfort in that, especially when things are just running on autopilot, right? We don't have to think. We go about our day, go to work, do all these things, or, you know, monotonous. It's all just the same. When we're running on autopilot, things seem to be running smoothly. Everything's great. But another common reason some people are so resistant to other people's success is that on a certain level, it reminds them of their own shortcomings and missed opportunities. This can manifest in jealousy, animosity, scorn, gossip, passive-aggressive comments, verbal challenges, maybe some alienation, ignoring your calls, ignoring your text messages, not showing up to events or your house, or outright sabotage. You know, maybe they put sugar in your food or your drinks or whatever, and they think it's funny. So how do we navigate this social minefield? How do we navigate it without losing those friendships, without making someone mad? Is it possible to salvage these friendships? And if not, how do you know when it's time to let go? The first obvious step is recognizing when a friendship has become toxic. This sometimes can be a bit more of a challenge than you might think. You probably do. Every friendship has its ups and downs. Every friendship. And sometimes we tend to ignore an increase in the downs and just pass it off as just a phase. It can be difficult to detect because the way our friends undermine us is not always really obvious. Humans are emotional creatures who communicate for the most part in subtle ways, especially considering that we ourselves don't always understand our own motives, what we do, why we do what we do, or understand why we say what we say. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Why do I always do that? Be sure to pay attention when a friend leaves you feeling negative, especially if it happens more and more and the positive is less and less. Consider why and how they're making you feel the way that they do. Upon determining that your friend is holding you back, the first reaction might be anger. Aren't they supposed to be your friend? Aren't they supposed to help you and support you? Why are they doing this? And how could they betray you when they should be wanting the best for you, right? Resist this temptation to get emotionally vengeful in return. And ignore their text messages or block them on Facebook or whatever. Ignore that temptation. Try to understand what is exactly causing your friend's behavior. Are they really angry at you, or are they just feeling insecure? Are they feeling left out, or maybe they're feeling left behind? Are they trying to purposely hold you down to try to keep you from trying to keep the friend that they have always known and loved the same? Are they holding you down just because they don't want you to change? They want you to remain the same so they don't have to change? Seek the truth, find out, become curious, be open-minded, and ask questions. It's also important to explore the possibility that you've actually been acting differently yourself due to all these changes in your life, and maybe it's really bugging your friend, right? Or are you working out now at a time where you guys used to hang out and watch TV, play video games, or whatever? There was a study recently that discovered people were making more money actually drive more aggressively than before making money, So that's an example of something changing or shifting in one's life actually kind of shifts and changes the other aspects of your life, your behavior, how you behave. Another example is people tend to drive, another example is people tend to drive more aggressively when they are driving a nicer vehicle. So behavior changes, right? Even just a little bit, your friend's going to pick up on it, especially if it's been a friend that's been around for a long time. They're going to pick up on these little nuances, these changes in your behavior or patterns. So think about how you've been acting lately. Is it different in any way at all? Is there a chance that the new positive changes in your life also have some more negative side effects on your behavior and it's rubbing your friend the wrong way? Take the time to consider the positives your friend brings into your life. And maybe even write about it, the positives and the negatives. Make 2 columns. Take the time to consider this possibility. It's only fair to think how much they mean to you and all the pleasure and support they offer aside from maybe this recent shift. Dismissing this can cause you to undervalue them in a stage of anger or disappointment. And then you don't want to make these huge decisions to cut this person out of your life out of frustration. Seek to understand, seek to view it from their perspective and what they see. The unfortunate truth is that you may realize at this point that any value they did bring to your life has long disappeared. Sometimes that's just the way life goes. Just as you're changing for the better, sometimes people change for the worse. Maybe they're not ready to change. Maybe they'll never be ready to change. Or maybe they have to be that person that hits rock bottom. But you have to make the choice for yourself and your own health if it's time right now. So whatever the reason is that this person maybe brings less value into your life or negativity, it might be time to let them go. After going through all the positives, maybe writing them out, all the negatives, and figuring it out, where does this person fit in my life? Is it time to let them go? So how harmful are your friends' behaviors and attitudes towards your life and your goals? Are they supportive? Are they helpful? Are they making fun of you? Is it going to really affect your progress? Or is it likely to be a temporary growing pain? Maybe you both are going through an adjustment. And maybe they'll just get used to the new you. And maybe the excitement and the new changes will inspire them to change too and come to you and ask questions. But you should know that old friends who still do the very things that you're trying to move away from, and maybe they have zero desire, zero interest in changing, have to confront their own demons. And sometimes that doesn't involve you. Before completely cutting people out of your life and burning any bridges, contemplate how you can achieve more balance. So we have all types of people in our lives that maybe we don't always get along with 100%, right, of the time. I'm sure you could think of somebody right now. Maybe it's a boss, maybe it's a coworker, maybe it's a brother or sister, maybe it's your in-laws or your own parents. Yet we usually find ourselves always able to live with that person, work with them, and love these people. Maybe it's setting boundaries. Maybe it's creating space of time that you can only, handle them, in that container, but nothing else. Considering that, is it really necessary to completely throw that friendship out the door? Or can you just redefine it somehow? Maybe you just won't be the type of friends that you used to be. Maybe you won't spend as much time together, as I said before. It doesn't mean you can still it doesn't mean that you don't stay in touch. Maybe it's just a little different. Maybe it's a little less. But you should always still have control of your environment and the people that are in that environment, especially how they affect you. So another option would be having a break or a pause on the relationship. After some time apart, they may be more likely to accept the new you, right? Maybe they would be happy to have you in their life anyways, and vice versa. In fact, in the honeymoon phase, the period that old friendships always seem to go through upon reuniting, they may very well come to the conscious realization that even though you've changed, the new you is now happier and more energetic and exciting, and they might like that. So once you decide how you're going to deal with a friendship that maybe is toxic or changed or making it a little difficult for you on your challenge, the next part, well, is the toughest part. You actually have to follow through with it. Friendships can sometimes resemble an emotional, abusive relationship, where as soon as the victim tries to pull away, the abuser changes their act, only to slip back into that routine once the distance closes in again. So sometimes they do this on purpose, and sometimes they just don't have control over their emotional behavior. They don't know what they're doing. It's ultimately up to you to decide whether their change of heart is genuine or not. So if you decide to give this person a chance to remain in your life at some level, this also requires a reassessment after a short time. Keep your eye on the signs, realizing that if things don't get better, you might have to distance yourself completely. And that's where the Facebook block comes in. If you decide your life is better off without this friendship, it doesn't require any type of awkward confrontation or a weird breakup. If you decide your life is better off without this relationship or this friendship, it's easy. Just add some space, some distance. And definitely I'm not addressing marriage or any kind of deep relationships here. I'm talking more on the friendship level. But walking away from a friendship, well, done right, should be barely noticed. If you've changed enough to be seriously considering this type of breakup, maybe it is a time, maybe it is a need, maybe you see this as a healthy move for you, well, it's time. Then chances are your friendship has been only held together by all those bad habits or bad choices, over a gallon of ice cream or caramel popcorn or something. I don't know. Maybe that is what's been needing to change for you, or that alcohol, or nachos and cake. I don't know. Whatever it is, maybe that's what you need. If they're not willing to omit that, find other healthy ways to share time and memories, it's not going to help you. So there's no reason why you can't keep things civil. So who knows, maybe someday down the road you'll reconnect in two totally different ways, but yet still familiar people. In a perfect world, all your friends would see that great things are happening in your life and hop right back on board. Not only happy to see that you're doing new things and you're eager and excited and have more energy, they want to be a part of it. That's a true friend. But unfortunately, that's not always how it works. Many people go through life without ever finding the strength to live up to their own life's full potential, right? And not doing what's best for themselves and letting people around them dictate how their life is run. So, what does this mean? This means that evolving to self-improvement is sometimes solitary at the beginning and sometimes very lonely at first. But you will attract new friends, trust me. So don't let this get you down. Remember that every time one door opens, every time a door closes, another one opens. So as you become someone that's a little bit different, you'll meet new people who bring new excitement, new possibilities, new challenges. And hopefully it'll be people that kind of stretch you and get you excited to try new things. Not only that, but you'll quickly find out who your two true friends are. The ones that really will be there for you in the end and support you. It is a painful process, but it will be worth it in the end. And don't be surprised if someday down the road, that person comes back full circle and they're ready to change and looking to you for advice. All right, if you need help or support in any way, whether that be with a new friend or releasing a friend, if you need support in any way in your health journey at all, definitely reach out to me. I've got the link below. All right, guys, have a good night.